Okay. Okie dokie. Hello, everybody. Yes, let's make sure our subs are refreshed. She signed up for AMA. Congratulations. One step closer to manifesting your dream life, girly pop. So exciting. Okay, so if you guys are not familiar with AMA, it's the Ascension and Manifestation Academy. It's the continuation of your healing journey and using everything that you've learned and applying it towards manifesting your dream life. And I've talked about this all the time about the difference between conjuring and manifesting. And the idea of manifesting is about you moving and transmuting your frequencies to be in alignment with the things that you want in your present reality. And conjuring is forcing those frequencies into your energy for you to then adapt to it. Now, both obviously methods we use here. My teacher got chapter 1 and love that. Then you're learning that chapter 1 here is about understanding the permanent presence of magic before any, existences, human existences here. You're learning that, this energy goes back farther than people realize. And the starting point in understanding chapter 1 is just in knowing that magic itself has something that's always been practiced. And I love that. Chapter 1 is so powerful. So powerful. So let's go ahead and get started on this topic of manifesting, right? And I asked this in one of my most recent posts on TikTok. What is the point of healing if you don't use it? What is the point of doing all of this inner child work, all of this subconscious reframing if you don't use it? So what we're going to be going over here today, and I asked you guys on Discord what it was that you guys were struggling to manifest, and we're going to be talking about the RAS, or the reticular activation system, and what it does and why it's so important for you to stay in tune with the things that you're feeding your attention into. What are you feeding your attention into? Mercury retrograde seasons in general are about self-reflection. It's about things coming your direction and how you're processing that information. Energy is in constant flow, and the importance of knowing what I'm talking about and falling in alignment with the principles of the universe. I go based off of the 7. There are actually 12, and I go over the 12 laws of the universe in AMA, which is the Ascension and Manifestation Academy, and understanding the importance of knowing how all of it works. But to get you guys started, I've talked about the 7 Hermetic principles, and I lean in on the 7 Hermetic principles because of its roots in ancient practices. These belief systems were set in place prior to science even meeting up to the meanings behind these laws. COVID coming back around. So, and we'll talk about things that you're feeding your attention into and sicknesses and illnesses and all of that stuff in just a second. But what these 7 laws, the Hermetic principles and laws, state is how the universe itself is mental, how your subconscious is a reflection, is playing out in your reality, and vice versa. And then we go into vibration and how everything is in constant motion, everything is moving. And then we go into, cause and effect, where we're understanding how every action has an equal reaction. We go into understanding polarity, where there's everything exists at the same time. So what you're paying attention to, its equal opposite is also present, but what you're feeding your attention into is how that reality continues to play. We go into gender, where we understand the feminine and masculine qualities in everything and what it is that you want to step into. So in retrograde, this is a very feminine energy because of the principle itself, that things are coming towards you, that you are in this self-reflective state, and this is your subconscious and this is your emotions. So all of our emotions being heightened right now, all of our sensations being heightened right now, this is very much pushing us into our divine feminine and feeling our feelings and understanding what that means. Now, you guys know that I am such a powerful and very adamant advocate for mental health. Okay, so understanding that mental health is the root of everything in this world, and what you do and how you do it. This is the starting point in getting you guys to a place where you expand the vision of your subconscious. In one of my more recent classes, I talk about the three components of the psyche: the conscious, the subconscious, and the unconscious. I explain more in depth how they're intertwined and how they're connected, but knowing the components of each of these is going to help you lean into understanding what part of your brain you're using at given points in time. So when in this section, we're going to be talking about the concept of manifesting and how you're transmuting your energy to match the things that you want for yourself. The block that you guys were, or the blocks that you guys are facing in your manifestations, is something subconscious. Now, here's the challenge is that when it comes to your conscious mind, this is what you know to be true. This is the actions that you take based off of habits of your subconscious. You can feel a disconnection between your what you believe about yourself and your reality, but your reality isn't shape shifting based off of your conscious belief systems. That's because your reality is a reflection of your subconscious. So how do we tap into our subconscious? Well, our subconscious is our emotions, very simply put. So going over the shadow work part 1 class, the emotional processing formula, that formula I created for you guys to tap into your subconscious and knowing how to do that. So getting yourself started in any area of your practice, you need to go through that formula just for you to get more familiarized with how your body responds to energetic stimulation. Because when you're looking at the nature of the 7 Hermetic principles, everything has its own vibrational frequency and its own energetic property. So how are you to know what frequency you are tapping into if you don't even know what frequencies you're feeling with inside of you? So knowing yourself is knowing what frequencies you are feeling within your subconscious, to then know, to have a starting point, to have a benchmark, to know what you need to transmute it to. It's important to know point A and point B, because point B is the goal of what you're trying to get to, but you can't get to point B if you don't know where you're at in the present moment. And bringing yourself back to the present moment and feeling those feelings. It sounds so silly, right? It sounds so silly to feel your feelings when you know your belief system revolving around your emotions is that you need to be angry and you need to be sad and just allow it to happen without understanding why you are happy or sad or angry or frustrated or disgusted or afraid. One of the biggest emotions that you guys were talking about in Discord was fear. Just signed up for AMA. Congratulations, girl. You are literally one step closer to manifesting your dream life. Every single one of you are incredibly self-aware. And what that means is knowing what you're capable of and who you are. That's conscious. Okay. What we go over in AMA is all of the subconscious work, subconscious reprogramming, tapping into those emotions. When you tap into your subconscious, it's more than just connecting with spirituality, and it's more than just, working on your psychic senses. It's more than just communicating with your ancestors. It's more than just being connected to source itself. It's knowing that your subconscious is what is feeding into your reality. Okay. So when we go over subconscious reprogramming, one of the biggest emotions that people face or that people feel is fear. So what is fear? Fear itself is a stimulation that is telling you you don't feel safe in a certain situation or environment. So how do we branch out of that? How do we break out of fear-based subconscious belief systems? Well, you have to understand, what is it in the present moment that you're afraid of? And that's where you go into your belief systems. That's where you go into your faith. Okay. So I'm going to go over some of the comments that I saw on Discord. to help you guys work through this. So that way you guys can expand your subconscious belief systems about yourself and then reframe what it is that you are paying attention to in your reality, and then change what you're paying attention to your reality to match your belief systems in your subconscious. This is a cycle. It's a cyclical pattern. Let's go ahead and begin. So what I asked was in Discord, what is something that you guys are struggling with manifesting? And then I have Bo here. She says, I've been projecting my fears onto my business, which is causing it to not take off like I know it can. But I'm also working through those fears. It's hard. Absolutely. So let's go ahead and actually break this down, because uh, the way you speak to yourself and the way that you speak about things is a direct reflection of your subconscious. So let's go ahead and use this example to start off with, to break down what we know about Bo's belief systems. So I've been projecting my fears onto my business, which is causing it to not take off like I know it can. Here's what she is tapping into. She is tapping into her conscious mind. She is tapping into the action. She is tapping into she's tapping into the part of herself that she has control over. Okay, so this is masculine energy. This is her knowing. This is the action steps that she's taking. So projecting my fears, okay? So projecting her subconscious, she is knowing that she is projecting lower vibrational frequencies and lower belief systems of her subconscious onto something that she's working on in her business. So how many of you have a business that you're building? How many of you are trying to expand in your business or start a business or have ideas of wanting to own a business? How many of you guys are wanting to go into the entrepreneurial field? Okay, Ginger, love it. Sid, love it. Spartan, love it. Bo, love it. Love, love, love. Okay, excellent, Sarah, gorgeous. So let's go ahead and take a look. I'm going to go over this again. I've been projecting my fears, a conscious knowing that there is something in her subconscious that is restricting her from expanding in her business, which is causing it to not take off like I know it can. So she's very well aware that there is a limiting self-belief in her subconscious that she needs to tap into to expand out of. This is the challenge that I see a lot of what my business owners struggle with is this. I know I have a limiting self-belief, but I don't know where it is. I don't know how to tap into it. I don't know how to expand out of that. So then she goes on to say, but I'm also working through those fears. It's hard. Absolutely. Here, one of the easiest, one of the fastest, one of the quickest ways to break through that fear subconscious, you'll find an AMA. You'll find an AMA chapter 4. Okay. So when you get to chapter 4, you're going to get into the energetics of manifestation and subconscious. And it begins with using the shadow work part 1 emotional processing formula. Now, I'm going to go ahead and break into this a little bit more and kind of expand on Bo's example and tapping into your guys' subconscious. So your subconscious is your emotional base, okay? It is the bridge between your conscious mind and your 3D reality and your unconscious mind, which links into autonomic responses, your immune system, your blood pressure, your breathing patterns, but also to source, to your faith and belief systems. So when we talk about the subconscious, we're tapping into the bridge in between the two, which is your emotions, her fears. This is where shadow work comes into play, which is why I go always back to the emotional processing formula. Now, your fears, what are they rooted in? So the projected fears, the first thing I would ask Bo is Bo, what is it that you're afraid of? And Ginger will definitely tap into chronic illnesses and autoimmune diseases and the subconscious and emotions and what the nature of chronic illnesses and autoimmune disorders are. We'll tap into that more in depth. Bo, if you could summarize what it is that you are afraid of or what your fear is projecting in your business. Failure, rejection, afraid of losing it when I get it. How many of you guys resonate with that? How many of you guys resonate with the feeling, the fear of failing, the fear of being rejected, and the fear of losing something when you get it? Okay, so everybody's on the same page here. Let's break it down. So what I was going at before, or what I mentioned briefly before, I actually go a little bit more in depth in chapter 4 on this, but the RAS, the reticular activation system. Your reticular activation system is the part of your brain that controls your attention. Okay, so what you pay attention to in your reality, your brain is memorizing and it's spitting that back into your subconscious and vice versa. So if you go into this fear of failure, let's start with fear of failure. What is fear of failure in its purest form? Well, the concept of failure is not being able to do something right when you do it. Okay, so it's this fear that you're going to be doing something wrong. So you actually have to break down where that is coming from. And that's where the inner child work comes into play that I've been telling you guys. Going into and tapping into that energetic space, or doing that part work for yourself, the shadow work of your inner child that first experienced failure and what that response was. So when you didn't do something right, what was the response? What was the reaction that you got? Anybody? Going back to the root of your fear of failure when it first started, when you didn't do something right, what was the response? Parents getting mad. So there was a negative emotional reaction from your parents. Self-loathing, hating yourself. Emotional abuse, anger, getting yelled at. So when you didn't do something right, your reality projected a negative emotional response, which created this root of fear of initiating something. So how do we heal that? Well, when we go back into that energetic space, you rewire your belief systems towards it. So going back to your inner child and her fear of initiating something moving forward, going into, well, I'm afraid that my parents are going to yell at me. This is a rational fear to your inner child, but the problem here is that you're not a child anymore. Okay, so this fear is now becoming irrational. Okay, so this is the shift between rational fear and irrational fear, is that your present circumstances are not matching what a previous situation has presented itself. It's an irrational fear of something from the past resurfacing. Okay, so disconnecting your attention, this is where the art of detachment comes into play. Okay, so the art of detachment is you not feeding into a situation that is not going to repeat itself, because it's a conscious choice. So where you're sitting at right now, you're living in the past. Fear of failure is your conscious mind living in the past. This is how your subconscious living in the past. This is how you rewire your subconscious, is by paying attention to what is in your present reality. Your present reality, okay, let's just say your present reality is what you look at. Right now, I want you guys to gather 3 things in your present reality. Okay, very easy exercise. Grab 3 things in your present reality that you're physically seeing. I have my biocollagen mask. I did this earlier today. I have my water, and I have a tarot deck here right now. Okay. Go ahead and share in the comment section. What are 3 things that you guys have in your immediate environment that you're seeing? Keyboard, pen, notebook. Perfect. Hi. Hi, Abby. Water, fidget toy, laptop. Perfect. Laptop, spicy pen, tarot journal. Love it. Journal, remote for TV, phone. Perfect. Howlite beads, sunglasses, scissors, remote, notebook, stretch pants. Car, water, purse. Gorgeous. Kids, cat, suitcase. Excellent. I want you to look at those 3 things. Did you have those 3 things when your fear was rooted? When your fear of failure was first rooted, did you have these 3 things? No. It's okay. Let's continue. No. Okay. No. 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 Okay. So it seems like everybody is in alignment with understanding that the three basic items that you picked were not a part of the reality that were present at the time your fear of failure was rooted. This is a very simple example of retraining your mind to come back to the present moment. Is your fear of failure rational or irrational based off of your present circumstances? Okay. So this is where we start to separate or detach from the idea that you're going to receive negative responses for not performing or not accomplishing a certain task the first time you do it. Okay, so this irrational fear of failure that you have right now is rooted in something that's not going to happen. And this is where you can bring yourself back to center, is by analyzing your present circumstances. So if we're going to take this deeper, right? If we're going to take this a little bit deeper, we're going to look at right now, if you were to do something wrong, if you were to fail at something right now, will your parents berate you for making a mistake as an adult? This is a serious question. This example is talking about business. No, 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 no. So you guys are no. So let's go ahead and take a look at the art or the law of detachment. The law of detachment here says you have to let go. Okay, it's very simply put, the art of detachment is letting go. To let go, the act of letting go, the act of detaching. What this law is asking you to do is letting go of irrational fears, letting go of things you do not want to feed your RAS, your reticular activation system. Okay, so we're tapping into our subconscious and realizing that there is a little root in there that needs to be pulled out. The best way to be able to detach from something is by not feeding your attention into it. Okay, so by you not taking a risk in business, is you feeding that irrational fear. Detach from that irrational fear by taking action towards your business. Even if it's just a small step. This is the very beginning in understanding your RAS and the art of detachment. We haven't even tapped into the manifesting part, the expanding the subconscious. We haven't even talked about that yet. We're just understanding the mechanisms of what your subconscious does and what your thought process is doing. Okay? Working through those fears. When you work through a fear, you're understanding whether it's rooted in rational or irrational fear. Because what rational fear is a situation that you are putting yourself in that could hurt or harm you mentally, physically, emotionally, subconsciously. Okay, a part of the emotions, subconsciously, or physically, your physical space. Okay, so if your present environment could hurt you in any of those ways, this identifying rational versus irrational fears, the rational fears that you're going to get hurt in some way, shape, or form. But how you're going to get hurt is what you need to analyze in your subconscious. Okay. There is a healthy amount of fear that all people need to have. Okay. But understanding healthy fear is understanding if your present circumstances are truly something that is going to hurt you, or if it's a subconscious root that you're feeding into. Okay. What's the worst that could happen? Now I can find a way out of it. Yes. Okay. Exactly. Right. This is how you step into determining, identifying whether your fear is rational or irrational. And we even talked about this in the last live. Hey, Liz, we even talked about this in the last live. Understanding best and worst case scenarios and breaking down worst case scenario. What would be the worst case scenario? In the last example we used would go to prison. And then we were all, talking about the benefits of going to prison. And then we tapped into the downfalls of going to prison. You're not going to be able to do the things that you want to do. You're not going to be able to live in alignment with your purpose. You're going to be around vibrational frequencies that are going to get you stuck. So we're now, weighing the pros and cons of worst case scenario to reframe your attention back to abundance, towards enlightenment, towards happiness, towards peace. Okay. And that exercise was super duper fun. It was super duper fun, but it was an exercise to teach you guys, even in worst case scenarios, there's polarity. There's two sides to looking at everything. Okay. So I've been projecting my fears onto my business, which is causing it to not take off like I know it can. But I'm also working through those fears. It's hard though. So your subconscious belief system, how to expand it, you have to set a goal. Set a goal for yourself. Set a standard for yourself. So in business, what is a standard or a goal for your business? Okay. When I go over business planning with people in my one-on-one consultations, we go into this very in depth. We go into this breaking down what your present circumstances and where your business is currently at, what your resources are, and then we start tapping into what your goals are and then reframing your subconscious to meeting those standards of what you're trying to get to in business. Okay, building a business is mental, and it goes straight back to the universal law of mentalism. Continuing on from here, projecting fears onto business, causing it to take off. So Bo's subconscious fears of failure, she is projecting onto her business, and what she's saying is that her business is not worth taking a risk on. So now what Bo needs to be paying attention to is how she speaks to herself. Fear of failure. There are people who are afraid of success because they don't believe that they can handle it. Yes, so the fear of failure is a big one. How Bo talks to herself and the methods of reframing her vocabulary towards herself, she's going to be going into the shadow work chapter, which I believe is chapter 3 in AMA. AMA chapter 3 is the shadow work section on how you're going to understanding the mechanisms of how the mind absorbs information, but also how to reframe your vocabulary. So as Bo works through each chapter, when she gets to chapter 3 of AMA, she's going to learn how to start talking to herself. Hypercriticism is the awareness of what your present resources are. Okay, so the criticism that comes into play is you feeling like you don't have a resources that you think you need, but in the present moment, right? So bringing yourself back to the present is what we pay attention to in AMA. Yes, so reframing your vocabulary on what you have accomplished is what's going to allow your subconscious to expand on your belief systems. Change is possible because you can retrain your mind, absolutely. So let's go ahead and go into the next example. We got Mrs. Jones, definitely fibromyalgia and POTS are a big burden. Let's talk about autoimmune diseases really quick. This is something that I've actually been tapping into a lot more over the last year, is understanding what are autoimmune diseases, what are physical disorders. And similar with the psyche, similar with the mind, as you see with PTSD, as you see with BPD, as you see with anxiety and depression, it is the byproduct of overstimulation of energy. It is energy that goes unmoved or not transformed, and it stays stagnant. So I was actually breaking down fibromyalgia with a client and going over the nature of their symptoms, and then going over each of the symptoms, breaking down the energetic blocks that they've been experiencing. With fibromyalgia, there's a lot of inflammation, there's a lot of pain, there's a lot of joint issues, there's a lot of physical ailments that prevent her from being able to do daily tasks. So when you go into this energy transmutation healing session, which is the releasing trapped emotions healing session, releasing those trapped emotions, we have been seeing changes in the nature of the pain that she's experiencing. So what this is saying is autoimmune diseases that we're seeing so far has to do with trapped energy within a vessel that goes unnoticed and it builds on top of itself. Okay. So physical ailments that you're experiencing has to do with trapped energetic bodies. And these energetic bodies are emotional frequencies. So this is where we're tapping into the subconscious and learning how to release these trapped emotions to reduce inflammation, to reduce stress. Let's go ahead and talk about that a little bit with fibromyalgia. Could you share, if you're comfortable with it, could you share one of the biggest symptoms that prevents you from being able to take action towards your business? Brain fog. Let's go ahead and talk about that. Brain fog. So the symptom of brain fog, what sensations does that create for you? Because everybody's symptoms are different. What sensations are created when you have brain fog? Can't think straight. You have low energy. You can't concentrate. Okay, so lack of concentration, the inability to pay attention to one point in the present moment. There's a lot of scattered thoughts, or your thoughts branch into other things. Okay, so how do we bring it down to bring it back to the present moment with this brain fog? When you're in this high volatile energetic state, the idea of destimulating feels, again, emotions, feels very defeating. Why? Because we feel like we don't have the resources or the attention span to be able to pay attention to positive things. So it kind of brings back to the topic of just being positive. It's hard to think or be positive when you are suffering from physical ailments. Here's the energetic response to this. Let me go ahead and light some brain fog. Let's go ahead and break down brain fog. Where's my lighter? I have so many lighters. I need to clean my work desk. Not me thriving in chaos. Brain fog. How to break down brain fog. Ginger, what chakra or chakras are associated with the psyche, the mind, the brain? Yeah. What chakras? I know. I have a letter here somewhere. Third eye, crown, gorgeous. So throat, third, and crown. So your throat chakra rules over not only communication, but balance and also thoughts, your ability to think. Your third eye is connected with the subconscious and unconscious part of the mind. It actually rules over your emotions. It rules over your energetic body. And then your crown is your general awareness of the energy around you. So what we're looking at here is a channel block between your throat and your third eye. Okay, so the energy moving from your throat chakra to your third eye, there is an energetic block here. What are some things that you are not speaking up on in your life? I gotta find a lighter. I'm gonna go ahead and respond. I'll be right back. I'm looking for a lighter. Okay. Ginger. Me doing all the work, and I don't like how he does stuff. Okay. What would you like to see happen? What would you like to see happen? What would you like to manifest? Him settle only a few products before releasing them and getting more business knowledge. Okay. So here's how we're going to practice the law of detachment. I want you to let go of any frustrations that you have and pay very close attention energetically to the things you want him to do. I want you to affirm that the behavior patterns that you want him to display. He only focuses on a few products before releasing them. He is business savvy. He understands the art of sales. He understands the art of developing quality products. He understands the nature and the need to expand networks. I want you to affirm what it is that he does by what you want him to do. No, 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 no. He does do appreciate everything that you do, I'm sure. But the things that you feel like he's not doing, I want you to affirm that he does do them. The art of detachment is getting you to stop focusing on the things he's not doing by affirming the things that you want him to do. Because by you trying to compensate for the feelings that you have about what he doesn't do, you're actually creating more blocks in your throat chakra. While he does appreciate you, you're using that as the only form of validation to compensate for the frustrations that you have with what he doesn't do. What you're trying to do is manifest or transmute what he's not doing into doing what you want him to do. So the way that you do that is expanding into your emotional space on how it feels when he accomplishes these things. Reaffirming, babe, I love how you pay attention to X, Y, and Z products before you launch them. I love how you go into the details of completing each item with such efficiency. And I love the feeling of it being so successful and people loving those products because of the attention to detail that you give to it. I appreciate, I love, I feel, dream, I expand on the feeling of when he accomplishes the things that you want him to do. The continuation of this practice you will find in AMA. But this is just an example of the art of detachment and transmuting your own limiting self-beliefs into more of an expansive subconscious mindset. Feeling what it's like to experience the things that you want him to do. Your reality has no choice but to follow what your subconscious is projecting. So we start with the subconscious and reprogramming the subconscious to connect, feel, and pay attention to the things that we want to see. Your reality has no choice but to reflect your subconscious. It has no choice. When you do that, I want you to notice how your symptoms of brain fog start to decrease. When you look at those things in your life, when you reframe, when you reimagine your subconscious, no. It's not fake it till you make it. No, because that is also defeating, especially with our neurodivergent minds. It's not faking it. The thing is that the concept of faking it is what it means is you're completely unaware, or you are choosing not to pay attention to what is in your present reality. But what the law of polarity states exactly, the concept of faking it till you make it is a false statement. It is a false statement because what you want to find is authenticity. People that say fake it till you make it are out of alignment with authenticity. And and again, this is all in AMA. All of this is AMA, is finding authenticity. It is by recognizing the polarity in your present life and paying attention to and feeding into what it is that you want to continue to manifest. Your reticular activation system is the replaying of what you're paying attention to. Okay? You absolutely cannot fake it until you make it, because that takes you out of alignment with authenticity. This is where self-regulation tools come into play. Is I realize I'm frustrated, but this is what I'm paying attention to. It's choosing to find your blessings when you feel like there are none. That is expanding on your subconscious belief systems within yourself. Your ability to regain control in an environment where you feel like you don't have control. When I ask you guys, what do you have control over? What do you guys say? The real answer to this question is everything. Everything is in your control. What you're feeding into and what you're paying attention to is how you change it. Hi, sweetheart. What's up?
My brother was calling on me.
Donovan! 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 Come here, please. Okay, I need you to wrap it up. You have 5 minutes. Thank you. Okay. Emotional regulation tools you'll find in acknowledging the present emotion, but looking for blessings. I feel like the reason I overwork and do it all is focusing on perfectionism and then not wanting to add more to his plate when I'm doing the same myself. When you go into AMA, you're going to learn how to work through what you're focusing on. Okay? Perfectionism is the byproduct of negative reinforcement. Okay? Perfectionism is the byproduct of negative reinforcement. That everything has to be right on target in order for you to be able to proceed because of your fear of failure. So this is where the inner child healing comes into place. And going back into that shadow work and going into your shadow work on inner child healing. Okay? All right, let's go ahead and go on to the next one. I feel like I've been neglected and deprived for so long. Hold on one second. Bjorn, Freya. Guys, what are you doing? Can we not do that, please? Okay. I feel like I've been neglected and deprived for so long. I'm struggling with receiving what I want, because I don't know where to start. I need to slow down and heal a bit before I actually receive. Let me go ahead, Virgo and Lilith. I have my Lilith is in Taurus. My Lilith is in Taurus, so I get it. Okay, so let's break this down a little bit. I feel like I've been neglected and deprived for so long. My loves, let's take a look at your self care routine, because acceptance and love is an inside job. Happiness is an inside job. This is what this means. Neglected and deprived for so long. Okay, this idea of neglect. How do you let's reframe it this way. Um, do you guys have kids? Is Sid in here? You got babies, right? Four. Okay. We got a basketball team. We all got kids. We all got the babies. Bjorn, Freya, come on, come on. Sid, we got babies. We got kids. Three. Okay. So let's go ahead and pay it. Let's use this as an example. When your kid needs food, what do they do? When they're hungry, what do they do? Oop, hydrate. Go get it or ask me for it. Okay. So in the practice of them asking and you giving, what is that called? Keep it very simple. Don't overthink it. What is the act of your children asking for something and you giving it to them? Meeting their needs. Exactly. Because this is about food, right? This is about nutrients. This is about basic needs. So meeting their needs. Exactly. Let me ask you something. When you need to shower, what do you do? When you feel dirty, what do you do? Sure, it's an exchange. Meeting needs, exchange, sure. When you feel dirty and you need to shower, what do you do? Go shower. Shower. Perfect. What else? Anybody else? When you feel dirty and you need to shower, what do? Soap and water. We go wash up. We go clean it off. What is that called? Go clean myself. Exactly. What is that called? Hygiene. Meeting your needs. Basic hygiene. Meeting needs. So you are meeting your needs when you need to wash yourself and shower. So let's go ahead and break down. I feel like I've been neglected and deprived for so long. What do you feel neglected in? What do you feel like you are in need of that you haven't been getting back? Yeah, which needs do you have that are not being met right now? Self-care, financial support. So now we're looking into the energetics of money. So what you have here is your subconscious belief systems about wealth. Your subconscious, the expansion or the money energetics that you are replaying in your subconscious is what is reflecting in your reality. So, what were you raised to believe, or what are your current belief systems about money? Let's start here. What are your conscious belief systems about wealth? Sid, what are your conscious belief systems about wealth? Shadow work part 2, the relationship between feminine and masculine, is what is going to be the starting point for you healing your conscious relationship with money. And then therefore changing your subconscious belief systems about it, because subconscious is emotional. Okay, so your conscious belief system is that money is scarce and I'll only be given minimum. So when that continues to be reaffirmed in your life, how does that make you feel? What emotions or what sensations are created when that reality is continuously fed? When you are continuously given minimum, when finances are scarce, what emotion does that continue to reiterate? Exactly, fear. So this goes back to the same question I asked before. Is this fear rooted in rational belief systems or irrational belief systems? Now, if it is a rational belief system because it's currently what is being presented in your environment, then you need to be paying attention to ashamed, undeserving, humiliated. So now what we need to do is transmute those emotions by paying attention to emotions or situations that stimulate love, that stimulate deservingness, and that stimulate excitement and acknowledgement. Both emotions are present in your current reality. The art of detaching from the feeling of shame, lack of deserving or undeservingness, and humiliation. It is removing yourself from feeding into that emotion by choosing to feed into emotions that stimulate love and validation. So, in your present reality right now, what are 3 things that you are grateful for? Meaning, what are 3 things in your present reality that make your life easier? What are 3 things in your environment that if you didn't have, your life would be more difficult? This is how we go over gratitude. Health, internet, and AC. Gorgeous. Love it. I want you to sit in gratitude for those three things that you have right now. I want you to close your eyes and direct your attention towards your heart center. Your heart center and the sensations that are created that that you feel when you think about your health, your internet, and your AC. What sensations are created? What emotions are being created? As you work through these emotions, these are the same emotions, the same frequencies that you're going to be using when you associate it with your wealth. You're going to be feeding those emotions and reframing your subconscious belief systems with money by sitting in those emotions of gratitude and thinking about your wealth. Expanding your subconscious belief systems on what it is that you are prepared to take on when it comes to wealth. You're going to be sitting and imagining what it feels like to have that wealth that you are desiring and accepting that. You feel relief, you feel a sense of security. Those are the emotions that you need to feed into when it comes to expanding your belief systems on wealth. If you want to manifest more money, you have to reframe your subconscious belief systems around having it. The scarce mindset that you have, the limited self-belief systems that you have revolving around money, revolving around success, revolving around wealth. Expanding those subconscious belief systems by sitting in the emotion of relief and security. These things that you have are in the present moment right now. And your RAS is only playing out what you're currently paying attention to. You are choosing to feed into the things that you feel like you don't have when relief and security is right in front of you. So when you get into AMA and you start going over chapter 3 of AMA, you're going to learn how your environment has created or conditioned your mind to believe certain things revolving around the things that you want. Once you recognize that pattern of what you're playing into in your reality, you can then shapeshift what you pay attention to. Scarcity mindset, of course, is generational because your environment continues to play out the subconscious belief systems that you were raised in, and it goes back even further. So when you're raised in an environment of lack, when you're raised in an environment where it doesn't have wealth, when you're raised in that environment, those belief systems are imposed on you. However, my mentor even taught me this. My mentor told me that it's not your fault for being born broke, but it is your fault if you die broke, if you die being broke. You can do all of the generational healing by going back as far as you can by stopping that timeline, but it begins with you here right now. It's okay, and I tell you guys the same thing. It's okay to be sad, but to stay sad is a choice. It's okay to be born in an environment where there's lack of wealth and resources, but it is your responsibility to break out of that. By choosing to pay attention to the relief, the security of the things that you have in the present moment, your RAS requires you to continue to feed its belief system so that way it can play out in your reality. By putting yourself behind other things in your life, the universe is seeing your subconscious belief systems and playing that out. When you don't put yourself at the center of your universe, the universe responds in the same manner. It's not going to put you at the center of your universe either. When you're feeding things in your life, other people, other situations, other emotions, other relationships, your job, when you put your job ahead of yourself, guess what the universe is going to do? The universe is going to place your job ahead of yourself. Your spirit team does not play with you. So whatever it is that you believe about yourself, the universe is trying to show you, sweetheart, are you sure? This is what this retrograde season is about. This retrograde season is here to show you what your belief systems are about yourself. Mercury retrograde is the planet of self-development and communication. And your vocabulary and your communication with yourself that you have right now is replaying in your present environment. It is so hard to talk yourself out of being in that emotion and being in that feeling of abundance when you're negative in your bank account. Because what you rely on is what you see. And in that process, you are negating your emotions and your subconscious and the belief systems about yourself. So I'm going to go ahead and continue down this concept of neglect that Sydney was talking about. I feel like I've been neglected. Well, yes, because you're neglecting yourself and meeting your basic needs, because you're putting other people ahead of yourself. Because there is a subconscious wound that if you don't put other people ahead of you, you're not going to be liked. You're not going to be loved. You're not going to be validated. So there is still an inner child wound that needs to be healed about your need to be validated outside of yourself. Is your fear rational or irrational? Meaning, is your fear rooted in something in the past that cannot be changed, or is it rooted in something in your reality? And if it is rooted in something in your reality, how can you shift your perspective on what you're paying attention to towards that feeling of relief and security? Pay attention to just 3 things around you to get you started. Because money energetics and what building wealth is understanding that it can come from anywhere, from any place. Has anybody done my lucky girl ritual? Has anybody done my lucky girl ritual? Not yet? Hi. Did this morning? Gorgeous. Yes, she did. Bo, can you tell me what happened when you did my lucky girl ritual? My husband loves it. What happened with your lucky girl ritual? Bo got a $300 check in the mail. Where did it come from? Were you expecting it? And how quickly did you manifest it? So random that my husband sent me to the bank to check if it's legit. I was not expecting it. Bo used my lucky girl ritual and manifested an unexpected $300 check in the mail overnight. It was so unexpected that her husband told her to go to the bank to make sure it was legit. Anybody else use any of my lucky girl products? Money manifesting? Then the next day she says, my husband got a $50 gift card and was like, I think you're right. Notice how with Lucky Girl, this ritual, notice about, no, but the money ritual strikes again. Listen, we'll talk about that in a second. Notice how with Lucky Girl, notice how with this ritual, notice how with the work that she did with her subconscious, her reality has no choice but to play out those subconscious belief systems. Now her husband is asking or is reaffirming that she is correct. Now her husband is inquiring more about what rituals, when she's going to do that ritual next. Notice how her environment is now matching her subconscious belief systems about herself. The money ritual strikes again. What happened with your money ritual? I got a call about my disability. They were told to expedite my claim meeting at the end of the month. Tiandra, I'm going to ask you, how long did it take? Fluffy, I didn't use the product, but I followed your advice on tapping into the multiplying energy in my womb. I didn't know I was owed one last check from her job for $2,500. Tiandra did the ritual Thursday and got a call today. Today's Friday. That's overnight. You did the money manifesting ritual yesterday, or was it last Thursday? So 24 hours. With the money ritual, she manifested her back pay on disability within 24 hours. Tiandra, how long have you been sitting in this waiting period? You can get your money manifesting ritual in the link in my bio through my shop. Nine months. She has been waiting on her disability for 9 months. And she got a call within 24 hours of doing the money manifesting ritual. Within 24 hours, it's being expedited at the end of the month during Mercury retrograde. This is Mercury retrograde. Mercury is retrograde. Saturn is retrograde. Neptune is retrograde. Pluto is retrograde. All 4 planets are retrograde, and she gets a call that her money is being expedited within 24 hours doing the money manifesting ritual. Queen Medusa, I use the oil daily before I go to work. I've been making more money since in less time. She is making more money in less time. Which oil are you using? She just gave birth. All 3 of them. So we've got we've got a few ritual oils. So there's Lucky Girl, there's Supernova, there's Reveal Oil, there's Protection Oil, there's Sun Goddess, there's all kinds. We also have Sinful Bourbon. Karina, I did my ritual and got an email today saying I'm getting a stipend for working 7 years in a company. Congratulations, Karina. Karina, let's see here. I did a ritual. How quickly did you get that email? J. Ross, I got the Lucky Girl oil and got an increase on my credit card. How quick did that happen? 48 hours. In 48 hours from doing the ritual, she got an email saying that she's getting a stipend for working 7 years in the company. The next day, Jess used the Lucky Girl oil and got an increase on her credit card the next day. Karina, so exciting. Thank you, my love. Hi, Ayana. How cute she is. Alyssa, the oils work. I need to hop on this one. Waiting on disability to going on 2.5 weeks with no movement. The oils work. The subconscious work works. Fluffy even said, I didn't use the product, but followed my advice on tapping into the multiplying energy and now is receiving a check from her last job. Queen Medusa, lucky girl, money, and manifestation. Love it. No, you're good. Can I get more information on my academy? Absolutely. So my Ascension and Manifestation Academy is about expanding on your subconscious belief systems about yourself. In that academy, I teach how long magic has been around, the natures of magic. I teach you about the principles of the universe. There are 12 principles of the universe, but I highlight three, the seven hermetic, or excuse me, I highlight the 7 hermetic principles, but I teach all 12. I teach the art of manifesting. I teach on shadow work, the nature of how your mind has been developed and learning how to expand outside of that. And in chapter 4, I teach the art of manifesting, the art of reframing your subconscious, the art of assimilating to the environment of what you want to manifest. And all of this entire program is built for neurodivergent thinkers. Sarah, love that question. We're going to get into that in just a sec. I put them on my evil eye bracelet and my money bracelet that I made. Love that. I was not expecting that check to be so massive. I downplayed it. I was thinking it was going to be a couple hundred. Higher self was like, nah, get delusional a little bit. Quite literally. So listen, the concept of delusion, I want to kind of go over this a little bit because delusion has been given such a negative connotation because we are so fixed on a logical reality. Magic is not logical. Okay, magic is not logical. What is important in grounding yourself in the present reality is recognizing what you currently feel and what you're currently experiencing so that way you know where your base point is to get to the next level. You can't transmute into something if you don't know where you're currently are at. So what Fluffy did is Fluffy recognized where they were currently sitting in their subconscious belief systems, and then higher self, higher consciousness, higher timeline came in and reaffirmed more. Y'all love Lucky Girl. I'm going to probably have to remake that one. Absolutely. For right now, the Lucky Girl bath is what I have. The Lucky Girl bath is just as phenomenal. Let's see here. Oh, Karina coming here and saying, oh, I also got a small school scholarship to help pay for my school tuition. That was 24 hours. Money can come from anywhere. You can use it in the shower. So when you put the bath sets in the baggies, you can use it as a sponge. My Ascension and Manifestation Academy is teaching you how to tap into your subconscious and expand its belief systems. Fluffy is using all of the tools that I provide for literally free to manifest the life of her dreams. She is consciously checking herself on what her conscious mind is trying to limit herself to, and then tapping into higher self and tapping into magic, tapping into the energetics of life, tapping into the energetics of the manifestations. So the academy is a membership. It's a monthly membership. You can go to the link in my bio to look at it. It's a monthly membership, and you have access to the entire class. And the reason why I'm doing it on a month-to-month basis is because of my neural spicy thinkers. So my neural spicies, you will hyperfixate on a certain concept, a certain idea, and you get into it until you study all of it, and then your attention gets pulled back. So you're not tied down to one fee and have the feeling of guilt and shame associated with that. And so with the monthly membership, you can tap into any of the classes that you want. I am continuously adding classes and adding materials and adding custom videos to the academy. So every month you're going to experience something brand new. Okay, so it's on a monthly membership. You can cancel it at any time. There are currently 4 chapters. The first 3 chapters is understanding how magic has always been present, the nature of magic. We go into the mechanisms of magic and in shadow work, and then you get into chapter 3 or chapter 4, which is all about the manifesting. Okay. It is a full class. Can be used in the shower. Absolutely. I'm going to go back to Sarah's question about relationships because using this method in AMA can manifest your dream relationship. So let me go back here a little bit. Sarah, can you actually, I have your question in Discord. Let me go back to that really quick. I have a question about getting more into my divine feminine. I was wondering, how do I do this in a women love women relationship? Like, I feel like I like to be in a masculine provider protector role. Like, I feel like I've always modeled more of my dad in relationships and how he took care of all of us. My mom worked and provided and was always there, but she was definitely more in her feminine. So here's the thing: when it comes to understanding roles in relationships, first you have to set yourself in what role do you want to take in relationships. Do you want to be in your receiving energy in relationships, where, do you want to be provided for and taken care of, and in what way? Okay, so you have to determine in what way do you want to receive in relationships in that feminine energy, and then you have to determine in your masculine energy what you are manifesting in that area as well. Fluffy said hydrate. Hydrate. So in partnerships and relationships, when it comes to manifesting your dream person, okay, when it comes to manifesting your dream relationship, you have to identify first what you want in relationships. So when you go over the principle and the law of gender and the feminine and masculine roles, you have to understand first that feminine is about nurturing and is about emotions. It's about moving in flow, and masculine is about providing, and it's about being analytical, and it's about protecting. Okay, you possess both at all times. But when you're manifesting an ideal partner or ideal relationship, you have to identify first which of these roles do you want to step into and at point when. So this concept of being nurtured, how do you want to be nurtured? And then in the masculine, how do you want to provide? Okay, because both coexist at the same time. For example, when you're in your feminine and you're nurturing, you want to nurture your partner, you want to love your partner, you want to, um, the way that the feminine would provide is by nurturing, by loving, by providing emotional connection, by, presenting those emotional connections. Love that. Congratulations. Congratulations. So for me, it's nurturing energy. What can you nurture in life? Love that. So let's go ahead and go back to Sarah in this, relationship dynamic. Identifying first, you feel most comfortable and you feel most confident in providing and protecting. You want to now your definition of providing is financially. Okay, so providing financially, providing in what other ways? You have to define that. So if you could help me, Sarah, how do you want to provide in relationships? What are your skill sets that you feel like you are most confident in? Congratulations on ordering it, girly pop. When manifesting your dream partner, what are you looking to receive? And what are you looking to give? Reaffirm the things that you look at: protecting, providing financial, but also nurturing and take care of my partner's needs. I love that. So you are reaffirming who you are and what you are looking like, who you are as a person, and expanding your belief systems on all of the things that you are by reaffirming it in your affirmations. Now, when it comes to manifesting your partner, your ideal partner, you need to reaffirm what it is that you're willing to receive. This is where people's manifestations and partnerships and relationships, they start to see delays in their manifestations. Is that there are things that you want, but you have to affirm that you are ready to receive. I accept this love. I am ready to receive X, Y, and Z love. So when you're looking at manifesting your ideal partner, what kind of partner are you looking for? You want your partner to be what? I'm not doing readings right now, love. I'm not doing live readings. We're going over the topic of subconscious expansion and manifesting. I talk about this more in depth in my Ascension and Manifestation Academy, but we have all kinds of people sharing on their thoughts, things that they're manifesting, things that they have manifested using my products, and what's coming up next. Because we're talking about healing, what you're healing, but why are you healing it and what are you going to use it towards? So in this question that we have, we're talking about women, women relationships, right? So I have Sarah here. She loves being in her masculine energy, and is comfortable with being in her feminine energy, but she's experiencing delays in receiving her ideal partner. So we're learning how to bridge that gap so that way Sarah can receive her dream relationship. So Sarah's right now identifying what kind of partner that she is manifesting first and foremost by her subconscious belief systems about what she deserves in receiving and expanding on that. I want them to be there emotionally, communicate, consider it an occasional gift. We love giving gifts. We love giving gifts. Okay, so we love gift giving, we love consideration, we love communication, open emotional connections. So, what you need to go to in your subconscious is reaffirming, okay? Reaffirming that your partner is emotionally mature, emotionally connected, emotionally nurturing, that they are phenomenal at communicating their wants and needs, that they are compassionate and considerate about themselves and about you, and that, that they love giving to you, that they love loving you, that they love doing all of these things. And you're going to reframe your subconscious using these affirmations. But this is where I want you guys to get your mirrors out. So in Discord, I asked you guys to go grab a mirror. This is where you're going to need it. Okay? This is where you're going to need it. Not only are you going to reaffirm that your partner is X, Y, and Z, but you need to reaffirm those qualities within yourself. You need to bring that energy back to yourself because you want to put yourself back into the center of your universe to be in that receiving energy to match with your dream partner. I go over a method that I teach in the why not method, why wouldn't they method. And the why wouldn't they method is I believe the why wouldn't they method is in chapter 4. I think it's in lesson 2. But the why wouldn't they method is exactly what you need to bring yourself back into the center of your universe. But let's go ahead and start with some mirror work. Mirror work is just a very basic practice that you can do to continue to reaffirm the things that you want, and reframe your belief systems about yourself. So as you grab your mirror, you're going to look at yourself in the mirror, eye to eye. And you're actually going to speak to the reflection in the mirror as your subconscious, and you're going to say you. As you look into the mirror, you're going to say you are considerate. You are emotionally available. You are ready to receive emotional connections. You are open in your communication with your needs. You are considerate and you are giving. You are generous. And you're going to speak to that to your subconscious. Okay? Because in that process, the universe is going to match it in your relationships. Your relationships right now are a reflection of your belief systems about what you think you deserve in partnerships and relationships. And then the follow-up with continuing to manifest that desire is by tapping into your Raz. Exactly, Spartan. Exactly. You are not I am. That's the key to mirror work is that you are speaking to your subconscious when you look at yourself in the mirror. Give it a go. Grab your mirror and look at yourself in the mirror and say you are. Because you are tapping into your subconscious. You are speaking to your subconscious directly. I am reaffirming. When you say I am, you are reaffirming something you already know. But when we're tapping into the subconscious, we're expanding on our subconscious and referring to it as a part of ourself. Tapping into my razzle dazzle. Saw Daddy, hi. How are you? Are they related today? I don't think they are. This one's a little bit pointier than the other one. Always cousins. Happy Friday. So we're going to look in the mirror. We're going to reaffirm you are. Yes. Mirror work. This is mirror work. You're going to look in the mirror. You're going to say you are. And you're going to reaffirm your belief systems and expand on your vision of yourself. You are loving. You are considerate. You are kind. This is going to be the starting point of tapping into unconditional love within yourself and the unconditional love that you are looking for. Now, this idea of conditional and unconditional love is such a controversial subject because love does come with conditions, but the conditions are standards. Let's get that clear. Conditions in relationships are standards. Unconditional love is the energy that you provide despite certain circumstances that may arise. I will continue to provide and to nurture you even in situations where you can't provide for myself, but the standard of continuing this pattern is X, Y, and Z. When we experience trauma when it comes to love and partnerships and relationships, the idea of unconditional love feels non-existent. But that is the unconditional love that we need to provide for ourselves first to get introduced to the idea that someone else can do it for us as well. Subconscious reprogramming, and then reaffirming what you're reprogramming by tapping into your RAS. Yes, I always get emotional. Opening up those emotions. Love that. Okay. All right, so I want to tap into the last comment that I have here on Discord. I want you guys to continue to practice these things that I'm giving you guys. This shit is free information to change your whole life. Okay? You guys have been healing for what? You guys are healing so that way you guys can manifest the life that you do want. Okay? Where you start to feel, and I'm going to tap into the last comment that I have here, and the reason why I'm bringing this up is because you heal the things that are impeding you from appreciating and accepting the present moment. Well, when you get to the point where you have successfully manifested peace in the present moment, this is where you start to feel stuck, because what you need to do is reprogram your subconscious to expand on the things that are also available in the universe. Gorgeous, gorgeous. So let's go ahead. Hey, love, paid for a reading a few days ago during live, but this was closed. I'm so confused. Okay. Paid for a reading a few days ago during the live. Did you not get your email? Because I think we emailed you your reading, but let me double check. Let me see. 1 second. Yay! Jennifer? Okay. Let me... I will 10,000 million% look at it, but let me just see if I had it emailed first, because that could be on my end. Let me go ahead and finish this last comment, and we'll definitely get to readings, okay? As soon as I'm done with this comment, I'm going to close out of Twitch, and then I can turn on the beats, and then we'll get rolling, okay? Let's go ahead and tap into this last comment here to wrap up AMA, the introduction to AMA. The Ascension and Manifestation Academy link is in my bio. Investing in yourself to initiate the it's not initiating. When you invest in yourself, you're reaffirming your belief systems and what you're capable of. Self-care is non-negotiable, and taking risks is non-negotiable. Take your first risk should be within yourself. Let's go ahead and take a look at this last comment. She says, "It's weird. I used to not have an issue with visualizing or manifesting, but now I can't visualize the reality I want without the opposite hijacking the visualization. This is why I feel stuck, and it's kind of pissing me off because I know what I'm capable of." Let's go ahead and break this down. What the current challenge is visualizing your manifestation. Now, when you talk about the opposite hijacking, what do you mean by that? Yeah, so AMA is a monthly membership. You can jump in and jump out anytime you want. AMA is here to stay because I've been teaching you guys for the last however many years how to heal, what to heal, and now we're ready to expand. The astrology is supporting expansion right now, so I want to prepare you guys for that and manifesting your dream life. I don't know if Fluff is still in here, babes, but what do you mean by opposite hijacking visualization? The outcome I don't want. Okay. So you are visualizing your desired reality, and then you also think about the worst case scenario. Okay, so this is the law of detachment. So the law of detachment is you consciously not feeding into that timeline. Because in dimensional theory, which I also go over in the chapter 4 of AMA, is that the infinite alternate realities coexisting at the same time. So what is triggering the opposite reality that you want to manifest has to do with your belief systems about yourself. Okay, so your subconscious beliefs of yourself and your capability of accomplishing something. Okay, so in this circumstance, it's not fear of failure, but it's a limited self-belief in your ability to manifest the reality that you desire. And this is where you pay attention to your current environment, your current circumstances, and acknowledging to say, hey, you know what? It's challenging right now because of X, Y, and Z. I at some point stopped being self-reliant. I recognize that I'm facing challenges right now, but these are my skill sets. Okay. When you go into the why wouldn't they method in my in AMA, I explain more in depth on how to break through that limiting self-belief using that method. But for right now, exercising the law of detachment and understanding the theory of infinite alternate realities. Detach from or stop feeding into the reality that you don't want to manifest and pay attention to the reality that you do want to manifest. And we'll get you started with that. Okay? Okie dokie. I have issues with concentrating. Concentration has to do with a lack of direction. So when you're having issues concentrating on accomplishing a certain task or certain subject or whatever it might be, it's because your attention is streamlining in other directions. With concentration, it's important to set an ideal or a reasonable target that your subconscious is prepared for. So with this concept of concentration, set a target of what you're trying to accomplish. Any distractions that come in that are out of alignment from accomplishing that target, you will set to the side. Concentration. With disorders like ADD and ADHD, it's a timeline concept. We have a hard time understanding the concept of time, and we only pay attention to things that are in our immediate environment. So when distractions come in, it deters our attention away towards that thing that's coming into our line of vision. So with people that truly really do struggle with this, I have tremors. It makes it hard because of my eye movements and ADHD. So exactly. So tapping into this concept right now. So it's understanding what is the root of that energetic block that you have. Where is it coming from? And how can you reaffirm yourself and what you're capable of? Hyperfixation. I totally get it. Hell annoying when I'm trying to let go and trust reality. So hyperfixation and challenges that come with ADHD and challenges that come with tremors, you have to go back to what triggers those complications. Stress. You have to check in with each point of yourself, and I go over that in AMA on how to do that. It's checking in with each point of yourself and what it needs in that moment. But your subconscious needs to be reframed on what it is that you know that you can accomplish. Your self-beliefs. Y'all already know. AMA has tools to help people that have anxiety, that have depression, that have ADHD, that have been diagnosed bipolar, that BPD, all of these mental health challenges that are a byproduct of trauma. AMA is designed for you guys. Okay? AMA is designed for people who have those mental distractions. We'll call them distractions. They're mental illnesses, diagnosed mental illnesses. Okay? When practicing this, how do we make sure we're not coming from ego and spiritual psychosis being at risk? It's consciously recognizing your present reality. What is in your present reality? You have to identify very quickly what it is that you are manifesting and what your intention is. Because ego is your defense mechanism to protect you from what your brain is, to protect you from your brain getting hurt. It is a necessary survival tool. When you start reaffirming who you are as a person, and you remove yourself from survival mode, you start leaning into higher self. You start leaning into compassion. You start leaning into the frequencies of authenticity. Therefore, your reality has no choice but to match that. Spiritual psychosis is the inability to discern between what is in your reality and what it is that you are feeding into. Exactly. Spiritual psychosis is the inability to decipher what is currently going on in reality versus what is going on in the ethereal. This is why in AMA I discuss grounding and recentering all the time, because magic itself is not logical, but rooting and grounding in reality is a necessary part to maintain balance. But understanding the difference between the conscious and subconscious worlds and realities is what is in shadow work and what is in the manifesting gift, or what is in the manifesting chapter. Okay? Your reality has no choice but to reflect your subconscious belief systems about yourself. Okay? That's the whole thing. Is your reality has no choice but to reflect your subconscious belief systems about yourself. AMA goes in depth on learning how to decipher the difference between your conscious and subconscious mind, because that is what we're expanding, and that's what we're healing, and that's what we're learning how to reframe. Exactly. Being intentional on not watching content that stresses you out, or participating in conversations that are not of higher frequencies. AMA is the Ascension and Manifestation Academy. Reframing your subconscious belief systems about what you pay attention to. Of course it's hard, because like you're addicted to it. Exactly. Is that your subconscious is so used to feeding into that immediate dopamine fix of drama, of stress. It's so used to that addictive that desire for that instant gratification, that it wants to seek back into it. And this is where you have to reframe those coping mechanisms, because dopamine is a necessary hormone. It is necessary. Okay. It is our motivation hormone. Okay. Having healthy coping mechanisms or having healthy dopamine fixes and learning how to use it towards accomplishing things that we want for ourselves. Exactly. This is the subconscious reprogramming, is that the detachment that you're going to practice is no longer finding desire in those lower vibrational dopamine fixations. Your new dopamine fixations could be, eating chocolate, watching TV, listening to music, or going on a walk. Dopamine fixes the instant gratification, but it's what you use it for. Ask me anything. A mental diet, exactly. A mental diet. What are you going to feed yourself into? What are you going to feed into versus what's going to nurture you? But dopamine is a very necessary. Just how you use it. Okay? My loves, I love you all so very, very much. I think all of you guys have updated your subs, making sure that everybody is connected. If you are not a part of the Discord, follow the link that I have pinned at the top of the chat is Discord. Get connected. Make sure that your Twitch account is connected to Discord so that way you have access to the sub-only channel. I love you all. I've used AMA Workshop for the past 2 days. I feel excited and energized. Love it. Sarah, I've used the AMA Workshop, which is also in the link in my bio under the introductory classes, the AMA Workshop for the past 2 days, and I feel excited and energized afterwards. If you are kind of curious about AMA, if you're kind of curious about what is a part of it, you can get a taste of it by going to the link in my bio and getting access to the AMA Workshop under the introductory classes. Okay? Love you all. Be good. Go reprogram your subconscious belief systems about yourself using mirror work. You are. Okay.